say about cocktails?
What?
We always try to make sure the first one's really good.
Yes.
The second one you can be okay. The third one, it doesn't matter what it tastes like because everybody's already starting.
That's right.
Yeah.
The third one can actually be a glass
Make sure the first
of milk.
one's really good. Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Exactly.
anymore.
There you go. It's brilliant.
Frankie, thank you so much for joining us today because it's that time of year where we're sort of like reaping the rewards or maybe not the rewards of our gardens, all that work we put in the spring. We get so many viewer questions, tweets coming to you about garden disasters, and we thought, why don't you round up the top 5 worst ones, the things we are doing wrong, and let's talk about how to fix these issues.
Yeah, you know what? It's a living thing that we deal with, your garden. And there are some challenges, so I don't want people to get discouraged, but let's go through some of the classic ones. Number 1, I got it right there on the sheet for you.
Tomato plants, they're turning yellow, the fruit is starting to drop off. What is happening? What do I do?
Yeah, tomatoes is the number 1 grown plant in the vegetable garden. As soon as you see these yellowing leaves that you see underneath, it's what's called blight. So let's say that you decided this year to grow an heirloom variety of tomato. Yeah. The heirloom variety of tomatoes are the classic varieties, but those are the ones that actually have a greater chance of getting disease. If you start to see a plant doing this, you have to tear that plant out before it's going to affect the other plants in the garden. Next year, let's say that you want to make sure that you're not going to get that same problem. We want to make sure that we plant that tomato plant in a different location. And better yet, if you get it on the tag, you'll see where it says VFN on the tag, the letter VFN, that's virus free. So then you can get some new varieties that are going to help them not go through the blight situation that you had this year.
And it has to be in a new location.
New location for sure, because that blight can stay in the soil. Make sure you clean up. And this happens all the time. This is a common. Even the greatest growers that are growing fields of tomatoes go through this problem. So don't feel bad.
Good.
Yes.
That is a good thing.
Yeah.
My lawn is turning brown in patches. People are obsessed with their lawns, right?
Yeah,
so this is a big deal. Is it the hot temperature or is it something else?
So your lawn, number 1, will naturally go brown during hot temperatures. And the reason why it does is it puts itself into a dormancy phase. That's how it's protecting itself. However, if you're starting to get patches of brown throughout the lawn and other areas are green, that's a good sign that there's something going on underneath. A lot of the times it could be grubs or cinch bugs. One of the easiest ways you can figure out if it's cinch bugs is just put a white towel down by that brown area, and all of a sudden you'll see a little brown bug float right onto the towel, under the towel. And if it's cinch bugs, there's very little things that we can do in the province of Ontario and really across the country because of the cosmetic pesticide ban. But then that's when you're just going to have to increase your waterings and try to fix the situation. If it is indeed grubs, you just dig out a section of the lawn, a 1-by-1 section, and you'll see this insect that comes up that looks, it's almost like a tuber. It's fleshy with a brown head. It's damn ugly, like
Sounds
super
gross.
ugly. And if that's the case, then you use nematodes. And nematodes are a parasitic insect that you're going to treat your lawn with to kill the grubs.
So you put more bugs on your lawn.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of good bugs out there.
Yeah.
You know, people that hate spiders don't hate spiders. Spiders are so good for the garden. Toads. Yeah. Toads. As soon as you see a toad in your garden, say to that toad, "Thank you for coming here."
I like toads. I think toads are cute.
Bats.
Oh, not
fantastic. They eat 16 times their weight in mosquitoes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they were eating mosquitoes.
Yeah, so there's some really good ones out there.
Bats are all right then.
Yeah.
All right, I've got beetles eating my basil. How do I control them?
Yeah, look at that. So we just talked about the grub.
Yeah.
That grub over time becomes this, the Japanese beetle.
Okay.
And the Japanese beetle is an invasive insect that just kind of goes ahead and just takes care of everything. So first thing that you can do, and we talked about it before.
Smush them.
You got to pick and squish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What if you have a lot?
What if you have a lot? Then you get some of the kids from the area and you give them 2 cents per bug to pick and squish. The other option that you have is you have some beetle traps that will trap them, but you got to keep that far away. But really the only solution is to pick and squish. And your basil will grow back any of those infected areas. You'll find that they're a cycle. They'll be there for about 2 to 3 weeks and then they'll eventually leave. The other thing that you can do is what's called a floating row cover. And what that is where you're just putting a bed sheet over that area of your garden. Yeah. And the beetles won't come because the bed sheet's kind of protecting, but you're still allowing some of the light to go through.
But that looks ugly.
It looks totally ugly.
Okay.
But some people pee around their garden as well to keep deer out of their garden. So bed sheets, peeing around the garden, what the heck, right?
See, no one can see the pee though. That's less ugly.
That's true.
Right?
True that.
Oh,
yeah.
Talking about beetles makes me itchy. Okay, when is the best time of day to harvest my veggies and herbs?
Yeah, just to let you know, the best time to do it is at sunrise. Take a look at those. Some beautiful leeks. Yeah. I didn't take a leek. That's a leek. Sorry. I wanted to put a vegetable with a joke. Sorry. Bad humor. That's what happens when you're in a garden by yourself.
Keep going.
But the best time, the optimal time for especially herbs is early in the morning. That's when you're actually going to have the highest saturation of those flavors in the herb. And as well, you want to wait till those morning dews are gone, and harvesting in the morning is the best time to harvest in the garden.
I actually knew that for once. Remember how many times we've discussed this on the show?
We've done it.
For once, I actually I'm getting it.
You're getting there.
My containers look awful. What did I do wrong? Well, first of all, you did not read Frankie's book.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you show us how to do it the right way.
So this container here, you can see that does look pretty awful.
Yeah.
A lot of times people forget about the drainage in the base. And if they're watering, even though it's the heat of the summer, if they're watering and there's water floating in the container, have you ever sat in a tub for 24 hours? I said it so long. Your plants don't want to either, so it could be that. The other thing with containers is you have to fertilize them at this time of the year. So important, because we've been watering and watering and watering. Any nutrient that's in that soil has been washed out, leached out. So now we got to fertilize, and by fertilizing, you're going to get a nice little flush of growth, and you can have a great looking container all the way through until fall. So fertilizing is really important, and watch out for your drainage. That plant there suffered from too much moisture.
Too much moisture. Get out of the tub, plant.
Get out of the tub
Thank you, Frankie.
And pee around your garden.
There you go. That's your takeaway. Good info. It's going to break. We're coming up.